Welcome to my little kitchen and craft space. It's my favorite space inside my home, which is a small city apartment in the Netherlands. In this space, I work out every morning, I bake my eggs, I create art, watch birds from the window, I pack my clothing items that I've sold from my shared wardrobe. And this is my grandma's sewing treasure box that I inherited from her. I use it so often and I feel honored to use all the buttons, needles and yarns that she picked out years and years ago. If I remember correctly, there's a little scrap of elastic in here that is the perfect size for a little project that I'm doing today. I thrifted this skirt last week with a super cute floral pattern. She's a size extra large and unfortunately too big for me. But I saw an easy fix for this, as I am going to add a little elastic in the waistband. I only just got my Singer sewing machine as a 27th birthday present from my parents last year. I've been really into crocheting and knitting the previous years, and I was really excited to expand my skills as I wanted to sew a coat from a vintage blanket that I found. In my first year of sewing, I noticed that some sewing projects take a lot more pre-production effort than especially crocheting. I'm not really a pattern and measure everything in details kind of type. I like to go with the flow, I solve problems when they arise and make new decisions all along the way. And after sewing the big coat, I've been a bit hesitant to take another big sewing project like that. Small alterations on clothing like the skirt project I'm doing now encourage me to keep practicing my sewing skills. So taking on bigger creative projects will be easier and less frustrating in the future. Okay, the skirt is done. Let's see if it fits me now. It's perfect, I love it so much, and I adore these in-between medium maxi skirts. They are perfect to wear boots with. I am wearing my second-hand vintage Sandra boots with them here, and a cute balloon sleeve smock top from an unknown brand as it doesn't have a label anymore. Okay, all done. Time to go out. It's Sunday today, so my boyfriend Kat and I are escaping the chaos of the city by cycling to one of our favorite nature spots close by. I always feel a bit overwhelmed stepping out of my front door in the weekends, as it's just packed with people. Cycling across the city bridge definitely feels like the bridge to peace and quiet. I have a love-hate relationship with living in the city. I come from a smaller town close by, where all my neighbors were over 60. My family and I lived in a small bungalow with a big green garden. And since I was 10, the wooden shed was my little island, as that's where my room was, that I shared with our rabbit. When I was 16, I wanted more excitement in my life. I moved to London in the UK to go to college there. As I was under 18 and the UK was still a part of the EU, there were no tuition fees, lucky for me. I was amazed by the film industry and did a course in creating media, but after that year I had such mixed feelings about it. I didn't know what story I wanted to tell, and that gave me such anxiety. There were so many possibilities for me and things to do, and yet I was stuck in freeze mode. Of course, now I see that the step from a small town to one of the biggest cities in the world might have been just a bit too big for a 16-year-old. Although I am so glad that I have this experience. And even though I had anxiety at times, I felt much confidence because I could make my own decisions and take care of myself. I'm really into organic food now, so you might not believe me when I say this, but I used to work at McDonald's and in a slush puppy bar in a theme park, so that I could pay for my rent. I've seen and met so many people in bloom and also in pain that had such an impact on my view of the world. I ended up moving back to the Netherlands It was like seeing my hometown for the first time ever after being away so long, and I felt a lot of appreciation for the surroundings of the place I was born in. I moved to the closest city to my birth home, as this was just the most practical for my education studies and the cheapest. And as of today, I still live here. I went to Norway as a part of my teaching education for half a year, and that really introduced me to a life of slower living. From foraging fish, plants and mushrooms from nature and cooking with them to creating art with nature. We gathered farm sheep from mountains for the winter, and we shaved them, used their wool for creative projects. And it made me realize once again how I took everything I consume in my daily life for granted. And it makes me appreciate the simple things in life now. Although I do have a dream to live in a place that's in the middle of nature one day, I feel really blessed to have such a cozy home with some hidden gems in nature close by that I can cycle to. Every Saturday there's an organic farmers market right next to my home, and they sell local dairy, sourdough bread, fruits, vegetables, which is such a privilege. And a visit to a local farm shop is always a fun trip. Thank you so much for watching this video and for listening to my story. If you like these kinds of videos, make sure to subscribe to my channel and leave a comment if you can relate to my process of appreciating all ways of life.